China is at it again. It has found a new way to provoke India, this time not with troop deployments, but with a dam. China is building a new dam, the world's biggest, and they're building it right next to the disputed border with India. China says it will be the biggest dam ever built, even bigger than their own Three Gorges Dam. As of today, the Three Gorges is the largest dam in the world. It's one of the few structures on Earth that is visible from space. That's how massive it is. And now China plans to build an even bigger dam in Tibet. The project was approved yesterday. And this is not a new proposal. Chinese officials have discussed it before, but yesterday they gave it the green signal. Beijing is pitching it as a hydropower project. They'll generate electricity from this dam. And the cost? A whopping $137 billion, making it one of China's most expensive infrastructure projects ever. And this is where they plan to build it, on the lower reaches of the Yarlung Tsangpo river, the same river that is called the Brahmaputra in India. The Tibetan name is Yarlung Tsangpo. The river starts in Tibet. As it flows into India, it enters Arunachal Pradesh. It's a northeastern state of India, although China calls it South Tibet and stakes claim to this territory. The Brahmaputra river flows through the state and then flows into Bangladesh. Finally, it empties into the Bay of Bengal. So this river is shared by three countries, China, India and Bangladesh. All three depend on it, but China wants to control it. Why else would it build a massive dam on the Brahmaputra? You know what a dam does? It regulates the flow of a river. So China can control water supply in the Brahmaputra. In the dry seasons, it can hold back water. In the rainy season, it can suddenly release excess water. Beijing can cause droughts and floods with this dam. And these are not hypothetical scenarios. China is doing it already. It has built many dams, and it is using these dams to starve its neighbors. Look at Southeast Asia. China built 11 dams on the Mekong River. This river flows into 6 countries. There's China, of course, followed by Myanmar, Laos, Thailand, Cambodia and Vietnam. After building the dams, China started blocking the water. The Mekong water flowing into these countries, China blocked it, and this led to droughts. Water supply dried up in at least 4 countries, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam. This happened in 2020. In other instances, China's dams have flooded the Mekong Basin. Since 2019, water levels in the Mekong River have repeatedly surged. And this happened without any warning. And along the Thailand-Laos border, it led to millions of dollars in damages for the locals. The new dam in Tibet poses the very same threat. It gives Beijing control over the waters of the Brahmaputra. And that is the obvious purpose of the dam, not power generation. Because look at the scale of this. A dam of this size would generate massive amounts of power. We're talking about 300 billion kilowatt hours of electricity every year. This can serve more than 300 million people. Does China need this much, given that it already has multiple dams? Bloomberg spoke to one expert about this project, and this is what he said, and I'm quoting, "There is zero need for this kind of supply." Then why is China building the dam? Because it wants to weaponize the Brahmaputra. It wants to control the flow of water. It wants to dictate where the river can go. For India, there's another point of concern, and that is Arunachal Pradesh. Like I said, the Brahmaputra flows through this Indian state. China says the state belongs to it. The claim is baseless. It has no historical or legal basis and no international backing. Arunachal Pradesh is an inalienable part of India, but China refuses to back down. In recent years, these claims have gotten louder. Beijing has issued maps. It has given Chinese names to places in Arunachal Pradesh. Earlier this year, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited the state. China responded with a strong protest.
The southern Tibet region is Chinese territory, and the Chinese government has never recognized and firmly opposes the so-called Arunachal Pradesh state illegally established by India.
India has called these claims senseless and baseless. But you see, issuing statements and maps is one thing. Building a dam is quite another. It's a serious escalation. So what should India do? respond in kind. In 2022, New Delhi announced a dam project in Arunachal Pradesh. It doesn't match the Chinese one in scale, but it's a start. India will have to double down on infrastructure development. Roads, dams, border villages, they're all now strategic assets.